come to order. Please rise for the Pambansang Awit ng Pilipinas. Please remain standing for the opening prayer to be led by the Honorable Figuracion.
Sangguniang Panalawigan Prayer. Dear Lord, as we deliberate in today's session, give us the wisdom to overcome passion, give us that understanding heart to do away with prejudice, give us foresight to know what the future may devise, give us the courage and strength to seek the truth and what is good, give us the facility of language that we may be understood, and finally, our Lord, make us worthy public servants of this province we deeply love and highly honor, the province of Camarines Sur, premier province of Bicol region. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Honorable Figuracion. May I now request the Secretary to do the roll call?
Honorable Vice Governor Fortunato C. Peña.
Present.
Honorable Board Member Warren A. Senior. Honorable Board Member Romulo O. Hernandez. Honorable Board Member Darius S. Nopra. Honorable Board Member Fabio F. Figuracion. Honorable Board Member Nelson D. Julia. Honorable Board Member Rudy P. Espiritu Jr. Honorable Board Member Angel G. Naval. Honorable Board Member Emmanuel H. Noble. Honorable Board Member Hilmar S. Pacamara. Honorable Board Member Amador L. Simando. Honorable Board Member Giovanni A. Senior. Honorable Board Member Domingo U. Briones. Mr. Chairman, I have the honor to certify the existence of a quorum.
Thank you. Now that we have the quorum, we'll now proceed with our session. The Honorable Naval is now recognized.
Approval of the journals of the previous session, journals dated December 18, 2013, regular session.
Mr. Chairman, I move for the approval of the journal dated December 18, 2013, during our regular session.
Yeah, is there any second? Duly seconded. Any objection? Remarks? The chair here is none. The same is approved.
Mr. Chairman, if may I recognize, Mr. Chairman, Honorable Bani Senior for his inclusion.
The Honorable Bani Senior is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, if I may be permitted, Mr. Chairman, I would like to avail of the privilege hour, Mr. Chairman.
Yes. Okay. So, the Honorable Bani Senior will avail of the privilege hour. Any other inclusions? Yes, Attorney, the Honorable Figuracion, and after that, the Honorable Simando.
Thank you, Mr. Majority Floor Leader, Mr. Chairman. Under one of the invited guests, may I include under inclusion, may I include Doctora Maria Encarnita Limpin, and Maria Divina Aborto and Miss Noemi Bron, the Executive Director of Framework Convention on Tobacco Control Alliance, Philippines. And another inclusion, Mr. Chairman, under first reading, an ordinance prohibiting the use, sale, distribution, and advertisement of cigarettes and other tobacco products in certain places, imposing penalties for violations thereof and providing funds therefore and for other purposes. Under first reading.
Any second? Duly seconded. Any remarks? Objection? There being none, the same is approved. Any other inclusions? The Honorable Simando is now recognized.
Mr. Chairman, may I move for the inclusion in the under G1, a committee report dated January 14, 2014, consisting of 3 items.
3 items. So, any second? Duly seconded. Any objection? Remarks? The chair is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any other inclusions?
Another, Mr. Chairman, for inclusion in the
This is for the day.
calendar of business, particularly G-5, post endorsement of Attorney Janice Ayan Rigas Vicliope dated January 9, 2014, Resolution Series of 2014 authorizing Governor Miguel Luis Villaperte to negotiate, execute, enter into and sign a deed of absolute sale for and in the behalf of the province of Camarines Sur with the owner of a parcel of land situated at Alimbuyok, Milaor, Camarines Sur, which will be used as site for level 2 water supply system.
To be transferred.
To be transferred to G5.
G5. So, any objection? The chair hears none, same is approved.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman, if there will be no more inclusion in the agenda, I move for the approval of the agenda as amended.
Any second? Duly seconded. The agenda for today is amended is hereby approved.
Mr. Chairman, the order of our agenda is that we first accommodate our fellow board member availing the privilege hour. So may we request Honorable Senyar to do his privilege hour.
The Honorable Senyar is now recognized. Bani Senyar is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This, Mr. Chairman, is in relation to the reports of unhampered illegal fishing activities in the Regay Gulf, Mr. Chairman. And this is due to Mr. Sir, the overlapping jurisdiction of the municipal fishery ordinance, which means that, for example, in the municipality of Regay, the MFARMC and yung mga task force on illegal fishing would go after the illegal fishermen, but they would just transfer to another town or to another municipality, wherein the apprehending officers would now be out of jurisdiction. So one of the reasons why there is an unhampered illegal activity is there is no, Mr. Chairman, an efficient fishery law enforcement. So, being the chairman also in the municipality of Regay, being the chairman of the Committee on Fisheries, I am making a proposal in the municipality of Regay, and also I'm urging other municipalities belonging to the northeastern part of the Regay Gulf to make a unified fishery ordinance for effective resource management in the northeastern Regay Gulf, which means, Mr. Chairman, that the municipalities of Del Gallego, Ragay, Lupi, Sipocot, and Libmanan, which we all know are sharing a contiguous fishery resources in the Ragay Gulf, would form into an alliance. They would have a collaboration of sorts, which is permitted by the local government code, because the local government code under Section 33 encourages that these LGUs sharing a contiguous fishery resources may form a collaborative undertaking among the LGUs, Mr. Chairman. And also, under Rule 16.7 of the said, of the IRR of the Fishery Code of the Philippines, it is also encouraging or stipulating that LGUs having jurisdiction over municipalities bordering bays, lakes, and gulfs may formulate with other LGUs a unified fishery ordinance for an integrated resource management of the said area. So, Mr. Chairman, I am calling for the active participation of all the Sangguniang Bayans of Del Gallego, Ragay, Lupi, Sipocot, and Libmanan to make a unified fishery ordinance so that there will be a unified effort for the management of the coastal and marine resources, and there will be efficient fishery law enforcement, and eventually it would lead to development and it would promote alternative livelihood schemes for fisher folks, Mr. Chairman. So, in view of this, Mr. Chairman, I would be sponsoring a resolution urging these municipalities comprising of the northeastern Ragay Gulf, and I would make in due time I would make a resolution, Mr. Chairman, and in view of this, I would like to invite the officers of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources, because under the law they are mandated to guide these LGUs for the formulation of the Unified Fishery Ordinance, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Chairman, I would end this privileged speech by making a motion that the officers of the Bureau of Fisheries and Aquatic Resources be invited in the next session, Mr. Chairman, so that they would be of help to this author, to this sponsor, for the crafting of the Unified Fisheries Ordinance in the area. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Before, may we request, when do you intend to invite DBFAR officers?
Maybe,
or maybe we ask the provincial secretary when is the available, or
We have
do we have invited guests?
Next week, on the 21st, we have a scheduled invited guests, and on the 28th, we have the ERB personnel, and then February is vacant.
That will be in February na.
February.
First week of
First session. So,
First Sunday of February.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
may we know the officers to be invited, the BFAR,
I think so,
The regional director.
and also the person in charge of the enforcement of the
what
laws.
about LGUs? What are
The Sangguniang Bayan, the chairman of the committees on fisheries or agriculture, Mr. Chairman, in the respective
how many
Sangguniang Bayan.
LGUs do we invite? How many? Ragay, Del Gallego.
Ragay, Del Gallego.
Ragay, Lupi, Sipocot, and Libmanan, Mr. Chairman. The chairman of the Committee on Fisheries.
How about Pasacao?
This is, Mr. Chairman, for the towns that comprises only the northeastern Ragay Gulf, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. So that means that there is no illegal fishing in Pasacao area. So I suggest that we include that because that's still part of that area.
Historically, Mr. Chairman, there is what we call the Ragay Golf Development Council. But because of the too large membership of that council, it becomes it never has a quorum when a meeting is called. So now I would like to concentrate on a small area comprising only of 5 municipalities in order to protect the marine resources of the Ragay Gulf, especially the northeastern portion of the Ragay Gulf. Because if we would involve Pasacao, Balatan, then we would be repeating the same scenario, Mr. Chairman, wherein all towns of comprising the Ragay Gulf were invited in the Ragay Gulf Development Council, but walang nangyari, Mr. Chairman.
But I think there is a difference between organizing a council than having a uniform legislation on fishery. So I suggest that since we are representing the entire province, I suggest that all areas, all municipalities covering that area should be invited, because we are not talking of a council this time. The experience before of organizing the council is not successful, but this time we're not talking of the council anymore. We're talking of a unified legislation. So I would suggest that we involve all these other municipalities so that they will have the same legislation on fishery.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. I agree, Mr. Chairman.
So maybe now the municipalities to be invited.
The Bicol side or the Camarines Sur side of the Ragay Gulf, Mr. Chairman.
Can you please enumerate?
And there's Gallego, Ragay, Lupi, Libmanan, Pasacao.
That will be up to Balatan.
Up to Balatan, Mr. Chairman.
So the intention is to have a uniform policy or ordinance.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. This napag-isipan ko kasi ito, Mr. Chairman, because through research we have unearthed the reason why there is not efficient fishery enforcement, because from every town there is different municipal fishery ordinance. The fines may be different in Ragay, the fines may be different in Balatan. So yung mga illegal fishermen would go to the town that would beneficial to them. So, but if there will be a unified fishery ordinance for the whole Camarines Sur, coastal towns of Camarines Sur, then there is no place for them here in Camarines Sur. And also, Mr. Chairman, but this will be coming later, a part of this unified fishery ordinance, Mr. Chairman, is I'm thinking of a limited access regime in the Ragay Gulf, meaning we would only permit commercial fishing for a certain period of time in the Ragay Gulf, in order for the fries and the fingerlings to grow in the Ragay Gulf. That would lead eventually
periodic fishing season.
Yes, sir. So, in view of this unified fisheries ordinance, maybe what will come out from this is a limited access regime in the Ragay Gulf, wherein there will be only a permitted fishing activity by the commercial fishermen for a limited time only. That's all, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. The chair would like to really appreciates the move of the Honorable Senior. Actually, that's part of the process that the chairman is promoting in the province. We want to come up with focused, unified legislation so that we will be able to address various concerns in different communities. So thank you. The secretary is now directed to prepare the necessary communication so that we will be able to have the presence of the concerned officials by the first session day of February. Next.
The invitation to Mr. Eddie A. Adlaw, the Acting General Manager, NEA Project Supervisor of Casureco 2, Del Rosario, Naga City. The purpose is to shed light in legislation with regards to the letter addressed to the Honorable Carlos Jericho L. Pitilla, Secretary of the Department of
Mr. Chairman, I move for the suspension of the rules so that we can accommodate our invited guests.
Rule suspended. The project supervisor, general manager, is now recognized and requested to take the front seat. Yes, the Honorable Julia is now recognized.
Mr. Chairman, base po sa tema na sa tuyang tukar kan sugma kan sa tuyang regularization tungkol po sa problema kan Kasuriko Dos. Yan po ngunya sa satuya an sa tuyang imbitado sa persona po ni Mr. A.D.E. Adlaw and Kasuriko to PSAJM, Mr. Vincent R. Hidalgo, Kasuriko to RCO, para po tausatuya ang background kan Kasuriko to rate increase asin iba pang mga problema na pinaghahalitan kan sa tuyang mga constituentes na sakop kan sa indang area na maputulan por dahil po sa pagkakautang ni Nakula. Yan po sinawa niya para itaw sa tuyaan sa indang report, presentation kang manunugod po sa issue iniya, Mr. Chairman.
The general manager has the floor.
Honorable Vice Governor Pina, to the honorable members of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan, first of all, Kasuriko too would like to express its gratitude for the invitation to the session of the honorable Sangguniang Panlalawigan today. For Kasuriko to shed light on the current problem, on the sudden increase in the rates of Kasuriko 2. And the recent problem also of our possible and almost sure inability to pay our power supplier this month because of the recent court injunction on our rates, which was paid by the Honorable Judge Clavicilla at 842 pesos per kilowatt hour, which is even lower than the generation charge, which is the cost of power supply to Kasuriko 2, which for the month of November was around 947 already. Your Honor, this problem is almost similar to the case of Meralco, which is now highlighted on the media, but unfortunately, it is only centered on the Meralco issue that is now pending with the Supreme Court, because I think the filers of the injunction cases filed with the Supreme Court is not aware that the recent problem brought about by the shutdown of Malampaya gas plants is Luzon-wide, and several distribution utilities, electric cooperatives like Kasuriko 2 was also affected. And to give us more chance to explain the side of Kasuriko 2, we are requesting that we be allowed to make a PowerPoint presentation, which we have prepared, and which will be presented by our Energy Trading Officer, Mr. Vincent Hidalgo, Your Honor.
Okay, please go ahead.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, especially to the members of the August body. So, Kasureco 2 prepared a PowerPoint presentation to give you a backgrounder on the Kasureco 2 rate increase. The first few slides will show to you the maintenance of our power supplier. So, the previous slide, sir. Yes. So, we'll now go to the first slide. Normally, next slide please. Normally, Kasureco 2 sources its power from Masinloc, that's a coal-fired plant in Zambales. Bacman, that is a geothermal plant in Bacon, Manito, Sorsogon. And the WESM, that is the gross market for all the power distributors in the Philippines. However, said plants also follow a maintenance schedule annually, which is provided for in the power supply contracts which we executed with them. These contracts stipulate a maintenance allowance that allows these power plants to go on outage, and in the meantime, the cooperative shall look for an alternative source of supply. So from October 26 until December 7, we were notified by one of our power suppliers, Bacman Geothermal, that it shall undergo its annual preventive maintenance and avail of the maintenance schedule. This was utilized according to the contract in the power supply agreement. Next slide, please. So during the time that Bacman was on outage from October 26 to December 7, Kasureco 2 was forced to purchase the displaced Bacman appropriation from the WESM. This raised the volume of our purchases from the WESM from the normal 10 to 15% to 50%. It was only unfortunate that during the said period, Malampaya Natural Gas Plant, the gas plant provider located in Palawan, also went into maintenance shutdown. Malampaya is the provider of natural gas for San Lorenzo Power Plant, Santa Rita, and Ilihan. This is around 1,200 megawatts in total capacity. So the said outage of Malampaya, coupled with other outages of other power plants, raised the prices in the WESM to as high as the maximum of 62 pesos per kilowatt-hour ceiling price. So in essence, Kasureco 2 was purchasing 50% of its power supply from the WESM at those prices, ranging from 0 to as high as 62 pesos per kilowatt-hour from October 26 to December 7. Next slide, please. So what was the rate impact of the shutdown of Bacman and other power plants? Next slide. So as you can see in the next slide, the said shutdown reflected on the monthly settlements of Kasureco 2 as shown below. So as I have said a while ago, normally Kasureco 2 sources from the three major power plants, namely AES Philippines, which is Masinloc, Bacman, and WESM. So in October, we purchased around, that's in pesos, 56 million from Masinloc. From BGI, we purchased around 49 million. And from WESM, 11 million. When Bacman went into preventive maintenance in November, you can see that their cost trickled down from 49 million to 0. And the displaced portion was taken from the WESM. So the data are as follows for November. AES Masinloc, 59 million, Bacman, 0, and WESM ballooned from 11 million to 212 million. And in December, we also have the same figures. For AES Masinloc, it's 59 million. For BGI, which resumed its supply from December 8 to December 25, accumulated a total payables of 12 million. And for WESM, it's 185 million. So for the totals in October, in generation costs alone, we have 117 million for the month of October, which almost doubled in November to 271 million, and again a high of 257 million in December. In terms of rates, we shall look at the following. For each supplier, you can see, next slide please. For each supplier, we can see that for AES Philippines, the rates are stable from October to December. In October, they have a rate of 5.18 per kilowatt hour. November, 5.26 per kilowatt hour, and in December, 5.39. For Bacman Geothermal, we have a rate of 5.03 in October. They have no rates in November since they were in maintenance, and in December, they have an effective rate of 4.75. For the WESM, we have an effective rate of 7.34 in October, which rose to 20 per kilowatt hour in November, and to as high as 23.75 in December. For the average effective rate, we come up with 5.85 in October, which considerably got higher in November to 8.70, and to as high as 11.3 per kilowatt hour in December. Next slide, please. So the procurement of 50% of the power purchases from the WESM from the period October 26 to December 7 produced an increase in the end-user rate as shown below. So we have three customer classes: residential, low voltage, which is comprised of small to medium enterprises, and high voltage, which is comprised of big commercial and industrial users. For November, our residential rate is 1150.57, while in December, it rose to the highest rate recorded in Casureco 2, which is 15.3943. For low voltage, it's 10.63 in November and 14.52 in December. For high voltage, it's 9.13 in November, and in December, it's 12.88 per kilowatt hour. Next slide, please. So, in the next slides, we shall present to you the effect of the freeze order of branch 33 of the regional of the RTC Pili. Next slide, please. So, branch 33 of the Regional Trial Court of Pili has recently issued an order dated January 6, 2014 on civil case number P2547 in relation to the injunction imposed last July 6, 2010, which is directing Casureco 2, among others, to, number 1, I'm reading this in toto according to the order, cease and desist from implementing collections and disconnections of power rate increase for the period November 26 to December 26, 2013 and onwards until further order of the court. Number 2, implement the generation charge pegged by the court at 4.8932 per kilowatt hour for generation charge and 4.8932 as distribution charge for a total of 8.42 per kilowatt hour. Number 3, not impose penalties for late payments based on the questioned excessive increase, but may do so if based on the court-mandated rate billing at 8.42 per kilowatt hour. And lastly, not cause power disconnections to households of consumers and end users unless such disconnections are based on non-payment of power rate billings based on the foregoing court-mandated power rate. Next slide, please. So basically, Casureco 2 was ordered to peg the rates at 8.42 as against the computed rate of 15.39. So what is the impact on the finances of Casureco 2? This slide will show to you our payables to our power suppliers. We would like to clarify that Casureco 2 is only acting as a collecting agent for the power suppliers. And on the mandated rates, it is only getting around 11% of the total rate being passed on to consumers. The 89% is being given to the power suppliers and the government through taxes. So this is the impact on operation. To show you the pie chart of our later na lang. So we'll go to the payables of Casureco 2. Previous slide po, sir. We have a balance of 7,662,000 which was paid last January 7, 2014. So our biggest concern is one of this. the WESM December bill in the amount of 185,609,386, which becomes due on January 25th. We haven't paid that yet. For AES Masinloc, we already paid the amount of 59,035,357.31 last January 10. And for Bacman Geothermal, we already paid the amount of 12,650,855.97. And for Bicol Hydro, that's our mini hydropower plant in Pacol, that's 1.3 million, which is due on the 25th of January. And GCP, our transmission services provider, is also due the amount of 23,500,000, which we will pay in January 25th. WESM is also demanding for the security deposit in the amount of 89 million, due today, January 15th, while our other power supplier is also demanding for their security deposit in the amount of 50 million. All in all, our payables for the month of January amount to a total of 428,900,000. Excluding these deposits, it will amount to only 289 million in bills alone, in power bills alone. Next slide, please. So we also attach a scanned copies of the bills from our suppliers, proof of the said figures. This one is the preliminary statement from the WESM. Next slide, please. Our bill from Masinloc. Next slide. Our bill from Bacman Geothermal. Our bill from Bicol Hydro. And our bill from NGCP. We are furnishing this body of these documents. So we also projected our collection and sales using the court-mandated TRO. Ito po yung tinitingnan namin, makokolekta lang namin kung ngayong ini-implement na namin ang 8.42 per kilowatt hour. So per consumer type, we have these figures. This was our sales in December 2013 and the TRO rate. So we have an estimated revenue of a total of 159,575,892.52. Since hindi naman po yan nakakolekta, we multiplied it with our collection efficiency, which is currently at 72%. So realistically, we shall only collect around 114,256,339. So we only project a total collection of 114 million. Next slide, please. So if we are to project our sales using our ERC computed rate, we have these figures. If we follow our usual computation of rates, we will have an estimated revenue total of 304,815. If we go against that, as against our collection efficiency, we project a total collection of 218,248. Next slide, please. So, ikumpara po natin yung bayaran namin sa naipoproject nating makokolekta. So, if we compare that using our 8.42 rate as against our payables, kulang po yung makokolekta ng Kasureco 2 to address the payables for January. In the amount, balik po tayo. In the amount of 314,644,000. Next slide, please. Kung gagamitin naman po yung computation ng Kasureco 2 following the ERC rules, we shall only have a deficit of 210,652,712.37. So there is this threat of disconnection which is being widely circulated in the media. So PEMC has demanded the posting of a security deposit in the amount of 89 million by January 15. Non-compliance to which will result to issuance of disconnection notice, which is to take effect after 7 days of working receipt. So our projected date, if the same is not complied, is possibly January 27, counting the 7 days. So come January 25th, Kasureco 2 also projects that using the said rates, it cannot fully settle the payables of 185 million with PEMC which would again result to an issuance of a disconnection notice. So the projected date of disconnection, if the payment of the power bills is not complied by January 25th, is 7 days, which will fall at around February 5th, 2014. So that ends our presentation. Thank you.
Your Honor, please, may I add some explanation? Kasurikutu would like to make it clear, Your Honor, that the co-op did not make any increase in its distribution charges. And the rates of the cooperative, it is only the generation cost that vary from month to month. And this generation cost, prior to the recent problem of our power supply, the generation cost of Kasuriko 2 was averaging only about 475. And it went up to as high as 10 pesos plus. But the distribution charges of Kasuriko 2, which is the one approved by the Energy Regulatory Commission, and the source of the operating expenses of the co-op remains at an average of 1 peso and 65 centavos per kilowatt hour, Your Honor. And the additional increase in the rates is the government imposition such as VAT, universal charges, which are also remitted to the government through the PESAM. And the Kasuriko 2 is only the collecting agent of the power distributor, our power supplier, and the pass-on rate of the co-op is based on the approved formula by the Energy Regulatory Commission, and the distribution utilities like Kasuriko 2 is not allowed to impose any increase, Your Honor. And just to emphasize the problem of the co-op in simple terms, from January up to October, our total power cost, which comprise of the Masinloc bill, Bachmann, WISEM, and the NGCP, the transmission distributor, only averages about 130 million. And our monthly revenue ranges from 150 to 160 million. But during the billing month of November, which we could only bill and collect on December, the power cost went up to about a little more than 300 million. And as I said, the co-op has not made any increase in its rates, but these are brought about by the unfortunate incident that the preventive annual maintenance of our one of our bilateral contract was made simultaneous with the shutdown of Malampaya, which causes the power plant being supplied by Malampaya gas of around 2,000 megawatt more or less to use more expensive fuel. And this is the reason why the rates in the WISEM went up, Your Honor.
Thank you. The chair would like to shoot 2 questions only. Number one, the chair is just curious. Why is WISEM charging higher than the other power producers?
Your Honor, please, this is really an abnormal situation because prior to the shutdown of Malampaya, the rates at WISM was even lower than the bilateral contracts of the co-op. It ranges from 1 peso on a daily basis to an average about 6 pesos. But as explained by Mr. Hidalgo, during this crisis, the rate of WISM went up to as high as 62 per kilowatt hour on an hourly basis. Because when Malampaya shut down, although the power supply in Luzon was not necessarily affected, the cost of generation went up first because the replacement power for the plants using natural gas of Malampaya was more expensive, and it was not able to generate enough the expected capacity, and therefore other power plants such as diesel and the more expensive plants was in operation during this period, and the pricing mechanism of WISM is such that it is affected by the demand, and parang nagkakaroon ng bidding, and the manufacturing plants are willing to buy at high rates provided they are given the priority supplier, Honor.
Okay. So second question is, granting we did not have any court order, as shown in the presentation, even if you're allowed to pass on the rate, we saw that you still have a deficit. I do not know if I recall it right, but I think based on your presentation, the payables are even higher than the collectibles as presented, even if you're allowed to. Does this mean that Casuraico 2 is losing? Or what is the explanation of this? We do understand the situation that with the freeze order from the court, if no other legal remedies will be done, I think we will 100% experience a brownout if WISM will do that. But I'm just asking that if granting that you will be allowed to pass on the same rate, as shown in your presentation, still the collectibles are not sufficient to pay the payables as presented. So, do we have any explanation of that, sir?
Thank you, Your Honor. Not necessarily. Although the effect is of sudden increase in rates, the co-op is 1 month behind in charging its consumers. Kasi, for example, for the billing period October 26 to November 25, doon tumaas, maipapasa lang namin yan sa next billing month, and then therefore ang billing namin 1 month behind, and the collection is another 1 month behind, so it's more or less 2 months lag. But if the regional trial court did not order the Casuraico to freeze its rate at the court mandated 842 per kilowatt hour, we can somehow manage to pay this recent increase in our power cost. For example, for the billing period October 26 to November 25, which I said from 130 million average, it went up to 300 million. We were able somehow to pay, to maintain our prompt payment discount with Masenloc and Bachman, because, Your Honor, we have already stabilized our operation. We have more or less improved our financial capacity, and we are already enjoying prompt payment discount from our power suppliers. And notwithstanding the sudden increase, we were able to pay Masinloc and with the pump payment discount, we were able to pay Transco on due date. And of the 200 million exclusive of VAT for WISM, we're able to settle about 167 million on due date December 26. But we have to borrow from our funds about 72 million. But although we have enough collection at the end of December, the available cash, dahil majority of the collection was checked for clearing, we're only able to pay on January 3 of our balance of 20 million, 13 million, and we were able to fully settle our WISM bill on January 8, Your Honor. Therefore, without the purchase order, we were expecting that we can be able to sustain our payment, although a little bit late for WISM, but we will not be expecting threat of disconnection because we believe that they will understand the situation of the co-op. Your Honor, please, the collection efficiency being shown there is only for the current, and we are collecting about more than 96%, including arrears. Therefore, it is enough to fund our monthly obligations.
So your total collection is 96%, but 72 is for the current collection.
For the current month.
Current sales. Yes, so the chair has no more questions. The Honorable Naval is now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Based on the presentation, it seems that it is almost 100 million ang dahil makukolekta because of the freeze order.
300 million, sir.
No. The difference between
Payables and...
kung makukolekta nindo based on your rate,
yes,
that will be 314. But based on the freeze order na 8 pesos lang, so there is a difference of 100 million. So
yes,
you will fail to collect at least 100 million because of the freeze order. Mr. Chairman, may we ask, nagsusunod po kamo duman sa order kang court?
We are now we have to comply the first order, Your
You
Honor,
have to comply.
because
But, Mr.
there was
Chairman-
a hearing last January 9 and the Honorable Judge was explicit in its order.
Yeah.
Because prior to the January 9 hearing, when we received the January 6 initial injunction order, we formulated, we utilized a format wherein the member consumers was given the choice either to pay the court-mandated rate of 842 or the correct rate based on ARC approved
Mr. Chairman,
mechanism.
If I remember right, I paid my bill almost double. Maybe this is the effect of the higher rate.
Yes,
Nagtatao
yes,
po,
Your Honor.
nagbibigay kayo ng bill based on your computation, not on the court.
That was prior to the order,
So,
Your Honor.
may mino po, paano nyo ina-appreciate ang court order? So, continue lang naman yung collection nyo based on your computation. Hindi naman dahil sa court eh.
Your Honor, please, before the freeze order of the court, the bills for the billing month November 26 to December 25 was already sent out for collection.
Yeah.
But because of the freeze order, I have already issued a memorandum ordering all our offices, collection of tailors, to accept only 842, notwithstanding the bill issued to consumers per kilowatt hour.
meaning, Mr.
And we
Chairman-
have suspended collection by our banks and other collection agents to avoid problem.
So,
with the
before we
compliance.
tackle the issue, Mr. Chairman, so you will be billing us based on your rate.
Future billing
Meron
will be
kayong-
based on 842. Your Honor.
So, in next billing, we will be receiving a bill based on 842.
Yes, Your
Because
Honor.
you are
Which
now
will
following-
start January 20 unless we can come up with a solution to
Okay,
the price
Mr.
order.
Chairman, if you are billing this January, will it affect the collection? Kasi naka-reflect nyo na yung October, November, and December. Meaning, na-collect nyo yun based on your rate. Ngayon pa lang kayo bababa this January. Ganun ho ba yun?
Your Honor, please, the price order is already affected our collection. As I said, because
You have to be consistent, Mr. Chairman. Magbibill pa lang kayo based on court order this January pa lang. Pero yung December and November, big-bill nyo kami based on your
ang
rate.
kinokolekta po namin ngayon is only 842. Maski na bill na yon.
Na.
Pagbayad, sir, sa teller,
yung billing namin mataas.
Opo.
So kami, kasi hindi kami nakakaalam nung court order or freeze order, bayad namin yung mataas. So, pero ang sabi nyo, susunod pa lang kayo sa court order this January billing.
Sumusunod na po kami. In practical po, napalitan namin yung nailabas ng bills. Pero pagbayad ng consumer, maski ang dala niyang bill is based on the 1539, ang aming mga tailors will only accept 842 and the consumer will be issued the corresponding official receipt based on the 842.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, let it be like that. Pero can we have an exact computation of that? Kasi ang presentation nyo iba eh. Even November and December, iba yung presentation nyo. Yung pala, optional. Yung billing yung mataas, pero yung teller are instructed to collect this low.
Hindi ho optional
hindi-
dahil
hindi kayo
in-stop ng
consistent
judge
yan.
yung aming optional. Hindi to na totally.
Kailan
we are
po?
only accepting
When was
payment
that?
at 8
When was that stop?
January
When you followed
10
it?
because we had a hearing last January 9.
Okay, now, effective January 10, saka pa lang kayo nag-i-implement ng 842.
Yes.
So, in November and December, you were implementing your own rate higher, 11 or 12.
Because the rates of the co-op is based on the approved formula mechanism by the Energy Regulatory Commission, Your Honor.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, hindi tayo masyadong kabisado yung ano. Anyway, at least nalaman namin na ngayon pa lang kayo magpo-comply ng court order. So, yung November and December nyo, meron tayong mga collection higher than the court order, yung rate.
Nagko-comply po kami maski yung affect because the court order is based on
Sir.
November 26 to December 25
Sir,
billing.
nagbayad po ako
At
ng
yung
dubli.
itapos na yung aming billing, na ilabas na, but the compliance is on the actual collection, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, I was yung bill sa akin na almost 5,000, binayad ko, hindi naman ako kinolekta ng 3,000 eh. I paid almost 5,000 sa bill. Wala naman na. Ibig
Baka
sabihin-
nagbayad po kayo before the price order of the court. And right now, may mga we will treat any difference if this problem is not settled as advance payment by the consumers
Yes,
to subsequent billing.
May we know po, what prompted the court by ordering this freeze order, by giving this freeze? Ano po ang what prompted the court to issue a freeze order?
I was informed, because I was not around then, that there was already an injunction by the court in 2010. And in fact, the court mandated rate was based on the order of the court on 2010. And the co-op has already appealed this to the Court of Appeals and is due for decision since October last year. And motu proprio, the Honorable Judge Clavicilla has revived the injunction. As a matter of fact, I was really not very aware of the problem then because I was not yet around. And we're surprised to receive the court order on January 6 this year.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, we go now to the itong nagsusupply, ano?
Yes, sir.
Ano po kanina nagsusupply?
Power suppliers, sir.
Power suppliers. Are they all private companies?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Tapos po yan privado, ano? Even WESM, privado po yan.
WSM is government run, Your Honor.
Government ang WESM.
Yes.
Government po. Anong organisasyon?
Government ang PEMSI, and which is operated
Headed by
WSM.
whom? Headed by whom? Say po ang chairman or presidente kan WESM.
The chairman of PEMSI WSM is the Honorable Secretary of Energy, Your Honor.
Secretary Petilla po.
Secretary Petilla of the
So
DOE.
it's a government entity selling power at a higher price. Iyon pinakamataas na
Parang
magpapatang.
nagtra-traffic lang po yan ng power. Parang stock market siya ng energy.
What do you mean by traffic? So they are buying from others? Nagbabakal po sila?
Yung mga
Then
generators,
nila?
mga generators nominate their produce kung baga sa simple sa WSM. So like Masinloc, ang kanyang na-generate i-nominate niya sa WSM na ganito, mayroon siyang available halimbawa 300 megawatt. So yun ay may na mga nomination naman yung mayroon siyang mga kakontrata.
By the time po,
contract.
by the time October or November na nagkaroon ng problema yung supplier natin, did you not anticipate na magkakaroon ng problema sila? Or was it not, kasi maintenance yung sinasabi nyo dyan, is it not part of their program na by this month magme-maintenance kami, so we will shut down? Di nyo alam na magkakaroon ng maintenance?
May mga scheduled plant maintenance at mayroong mga unscheduled. Kasi parang makina ito. May mga annual preventive maintenance which are scheduled at mayroong mga unplanned maintenance or shutdown of the plant.
So ito pong shutdown unplanned, hindi nyo alam, bigla lang.
But under the contract, mayroon silang allowable 30 days period sa unplanned or planned maintenance.
When was the time po na nalaman nyo, then you search for supplier bago tayo pumunta sa mahal? Kasi gusto natin, sir, gusto
early
natin,
as October 27.
Mr. Chairman, we would like to clarify matters. Ano po, na kahit kayo ayaw nyo rin ng mahal.
Ay, definitely.
Kasi madaling ipasa ang rate, pero mahirap sa amin. Mahirap sa atin. So, we would like to know, Mr. Chairman, ano yung earnest effort na ginawa nyo bago tayo pumatol sa mahal?
We were notified that the Bachmann will have maintenance of their plant October 7. And it was effective October 26. The realities in the power industry, Your Honor, is you cannot just search for a placement elsewhere because these power plants have bilateral contracts. And therefore, even with our best effort to source from other sources, there was no available power except from the WSM. And that is precisely the reason why WSM is there. And the contract of Kasorikoto with Bachmann provides that during this allowable maintenance period, the Kasorikoto is given the choice to source the replacement power either from Bachmann or from our own source, which is only the WSM. But the replacement power that they will deliver to us will also be sourced from the WISM, and there are additional administrative costs. So we have decided to source it ourselves to eliminate the additional cost of administrative.
WSM is a government entity headed by this Secretary of Energy. Kayo po, saan kayong opisina? Saan kayo po? Ikaw. Ano ka pong, hindi ka naman kasoreko eh. Kayo po, linagay, saan po kayong opisina?
Ako po ay from the National Electrification Administration.
Ano pong connection sa DOE?
The NEA is under the supervision as an agency by the Department of Energy.
Kasi earlier po, sinabi nyo, kumuha sa amin. Part po kayo ng WSM.
No, Your Honor.
Ano pong sinabi mo, kumuha na lang sa amin?
Sa kasoreko to, ibig sabihin na kami ang bibili.
Hindi. We are talking here of suppliers. So, nang mag-ano yung masinlok sa kayang kumuha na lang sa amin, sa WSM. So, you are part of WSM.
And I never mentioned amin and being part of WSM, Your Honor.
Anyway, so kayo po national government din. Pinadala lang kayo dito sa kasoreko.
From the National Electrification Administration.
Meron ho ba pwede ho ba malaman yung capability nyo on how to manage paghanap ng mga mas murang kuryente? Kasi yun na po importante sa amin ngayon, yung magpapatakbo ng kasoreko na hindi kami magugulpi sa presyo.
Bago po ang kasoreko nag-enter into contracts, nagsosolicit ng several proposal because these are not bidded, Your Honor.
And during that time, it's only WSM na available lang at the time?
Ito sa ngayon, wala hong makukuha ng power kundi sa WSM na available.
Wala pong iba?
Sir, we were constantly writing power suppliers as early as July, soliciting offers for power supply contracts. Sadly, they were relaying to us na fully contracted na po sila. Walang available supply to give to Kasoreko 2. Kaya po, from October 7 to October 26, mas lalo na po noong July pang sumusulat kami, wala silang maibigay. So from October 7 to 26, we had no other recourse but
Di
to
po
get
natin magagamit yung connection nyo. Kasi nasa national government naman kayo, makahanap tayo ng iba, mas mura. Kasi sir, mahirap basta na lang
Kung nabibili lang ho ang power sa parang department store, we could have searched all department
store. So ibig sabihin, failure yung ITIRA law, na pig and bundle na ganun.
Yes, sir.
Failure yun. Kasi mas nahihirapan ang tao ngayon.
So if you look at the logic kasi sir, mga private companies, kesa i-contract sa'yo, isasell nila sa WSM kasi magmamahal, di ba?
Kasi Mr. Chairman, look, here is a government, mas mataas ang rate kaysa doon sa dapat. Wala kang magagawa, pupunta ka sa mataas. Bakit walang available na mas mura? Bakit doon sa mataas? Bibiglain ka, Mr. Chairman, mahirap yun. We are not prepared for a higher rate, Mr. Chairman. Of course, papakita nyo na because of the freeze order, we are not able to pay. Kasi mahirap bayaran yun. Mr. Chairman, we haven't heard na there is an earnest effort of looking for a lower rate, Mr. Chairman. Madaling kumuha sa WSM kasi ipapasa lang naman yun sa taho. Pero yung kakayahan ng taong bumayan, imagine, even the provincial government, Mr. Chairman, cannot easily pay that because that is not part of our budget. Doubling the budget for the payment of payment of this electricity is not part of our annual budget, Mr. Chairman. Pero gusto po namin malaman, gusto lamang maintindihan, ano ba yung earnest effort natin pagkatapos on the part of the Kasoreko, Mr. Chairman, ano yung ginawa na tumataas yung collection, nagtitipid pa ba tayo para makuha lang natin yon? Kasi makita lang namin na consumer, tayong consumer, na nagiging parte din kayo, na-feel nyo rin na nahihirapan yung consumer. Hindi ganun lang na dahil lang na biniling mataas, ipagbibili rin ng mataas. Hindi ganun. So we are a public utility, Mr. Chairman, ang lahat na dapat gawin for the benefit of the consumer and for the public. Madali lang sa parte nyong ipasa yung rate.
Pero mahirap sa parte ng consumer. Sir, nandito po kayo para tulungan nyo kami.
Kami po ay lumapit din sa sanggunian para po makahingi din kami ng tulong kung meron po kayong ibibigay na tulong sa kooperatiba, Your Honor.
Anyway, Mr. Chairman, it is noted that WESM is a government entity.
Okay, thank you. The Honorable Nopra is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For clarity po, you send a letter to Secretary Pitilla. Tama po. Copy Parnis ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Tama, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tangani pong malinaw. Ano po ang nasa isip nyo nung iparnis nyo ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan ng Camarines Sur nung sulat nyo kay Secretary Pitilla? Ano ang nais nyo? Ano ang gusto nyo?
Your Honor, yung sulat kay Secretary Pitilla, meron din po kaming sulat, yan ay sa DOE, may sulat kami sa PEMC-WESM, may sulat kami sa Department of Energy, may sulat kami sa National Electrification Administration, sa ERC, at yung aming power supplier because we are informing these offices of the problem that we are faced and requesting for any possible assistance and understanding that they could give us. And we copy furnished the provincial governor, Your Honor, and all the LGUs within the coverage area of the co-op, precisely to inform them of the pressing problem and to inform them also of the possible disconnection of power supply to Casorico 2 and its entire coverage area, Your Honor.
So, understanding and assistance. Yun po ang nasa isip nyo. Ano po?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
Para intindihin po kayo, malinaw naman, nasa sulat nyo at sa paliwanag nyo ngayon. Now, yung assistance, paano forma? Magre-resolusyon kami? Anong nasa isip nyo po? Anong assistance? Kasi po meron akong isang tanong after you answer me now na may connection dyan. Anong assistance? Anong may tutulong ng province of Camarines Sur, ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan sa inyo?
Kagaya po ng nabanggit ko na, the court injunction was still on 2010. And mula nung dumating ako sa co-op in 2012, June, parang naka-freeze yung injunction because the co-op was billing its consumer based on the correct approved rate by the Energy Regulatory Commission, and the co-op was also collecting based on this. And there was never a sanction or reminder from the court that there was an injunction order because this problem, Your Honor, is already on appeal to the Court of Appeals for lack of jurisdiction on the part of the Regional Triang Court on fixing rates. And the ERC has actually intervened on behalf of Casorico 2. And during the previous hearings, based on the transcript of the case, Your Honor, the Honorable Judge Clavicilla was demanding from Casorico 2 a certification from the ERC that the co-op is correctly using the approved mechanism of the Energy Regulatory Commission. And the co-op then during the 2010 and subsequent hearing of the case was able to submit to the Honorable Judge a certification from ERC, but the signatory of the certification was the Executive Director of ERC, Attorney Juan, and it was not accepted by the Honorable Judge, and he was insisting that Casoreco to submit to the court a certification by no less than the chairman of the RC, which is Chairman Dokot, Your Honor. And during the last hearing, last January 9, the co-op was able to submit to the Honorable Judge the certification requested and signed by no less than the chairperson and the Chief Executive Officer of ERC, Sinaida Cruz Dokot, Your Honor. And we were hoping that based on the submission of required document, the Honorable Judge will more or less either suspend the injunction or recall the injunction, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman, doon po sa mahabang paliwanag mo na yon, walang may tutulong doon ang Sangguniang Panlalawigan. Kasi po, usgado yan. At alam nyo naman yung mga legal remedies nyo. Sabi nyo nga, inappeal nyo na sa Court of Appeals. Ano po? Ito lang po ilinaw ko. Usually, ang mga cooperative, nalapit sa mga LGUs, local government, provincial government, pag mapuputulan na ng kuryente. O naputulan na ng kuryente. No, sir. Let us be truthful. Ito ang premise ko. Una sa lahat, ang building ng Sangguniang Panlalawigan, ang lahat dito sa provincial capital, parte ng Casoreco 2. Ano po? Malinaw. Tama po yun. Ako po taga Casoreco 1 ako. Pero dito kami nagtatrabaho sa Casoreco 2. Sa lahat ba, sir, ng nangyayari ngayon, kailan nyo inaasahan na mapuputulan ng kuryente ang Casoreco 2? The whole coverage area. When?
As we have presented,
Any day
we
this
have
week?
already paid Masinloc, and we were still able to maintain our prompt payment discount. We have paid Masinloc 59 million plus last January 10. We paid 12 million plus to Bachman.
So when is that?
13.
When is
So the WISIM bill is due on January 25, 187 million. And we are also required to pay the prudential guarantee because our prudential guarantee of 22 million was used by WISIM to settle our December billing. And the 89 million shown there, we have written WISIM to request for a recomputation that because that is based on 6 months average, and they have included the November abnormal rates, Your Honor, so that we are requesting to exclude the November billing so that the rates, the amount required will be lower. And it was lowered to 49 million, which is supposed to be due today. Before I came here, I've ordered our finance to pay the 49 million. So that the problem now is the 187 million on January 25. We are not sure how much we can pay, Your Honor, but whatever available funds of the co-op on that day, we will remit to WISIM. And normally, after the payment, if it is not enough sa bill, nag-i-issue ng disconnection notice ang WISIM.
So, Mr. Chairman, once again, sir, my question is this. Ano po mapuputulan ng kuryente ang Casoreco 2 at kung sakali, kailan kaya? Alam niyo ang sitwasyon eh. Makakabayad kayo o hindi sa problema ngayon. Mapuputulan. Yun naman ang pinaka-critical dito eh. Sumulat na kayo sa lahat kasi may problema. Sumulat kayo sa mga power producers, nahingi kayo ng extension. Nakikiusap kayo sa mga LGUs. Bakit? Ano sa tingin nyo? Kailan mapuputulan? Pag hindi na bago, walang nabago sa sitwasyon. Will this happen this month? Kasi po, kami, kaya ko ito sinasabi, malinaw. Ayaw ko na mangyari yung nangyari sa Rinconada. Sige, maraming tutulong. Paano kung ililibing na yung patay? Dapat tutulong tayo habang pasyente pa lang. Ano po, mapuputulan ng kuryente ang Kasureco 2 ngayong buwan? Yes or no?
As I said, we will be unable to fully settle our January bill on the 25th due date. At normally, diyan nag-i-issue after the due date ang WISEM na notify kami.
We're talking based on your assessment as manager, based on the policies. Anong assessment mo po? Shall we be disconnected within the month? We're not after as to...
The earliest, Your Honor, is probably January 27 and onward. Of course, we will appeal. We will try to seek help from the OE and the NEA. Pero with the fresh order of the court, walang nakikita kaming solution because the problem will only magnify in the succeeding month. If the fresh order is not lifted, even the operating expenses of the co-op will be affected. Pambili namin ng gasolina, pangsweldo sa tao will be affected.
So, para na rin, hindi nyo lang masabi ang petsa, pero patungo na tayo doon. Mapuputulan ng kuryente ang Kasureco 2 eventually.
Yes, Your Honor.
The answer is yes. Ano nito nagsabi si manager na mismo, mapuputulan ng kuryente ang Kasureco 2. Dahil ang masabi mo niyan, kung no rin. Pero nakulao na ang posibilidad. Kasi magkakapatong-patong na ang problema. Isa na lang po, sir. Una po, salamat po nagpunta kayo dito. Hindi na namin kayo naharas. Huwag niyong isipin, sir, na pinagsasalitaan kayo dito kung ano. Concern lang po kami kasi nga ang Kapitolyo po ay dito sa Kasureco 2. At yung sinaboard member na mga representative yan ng mga tao. Katulad yan ng mga consul sa Naga, concern lahat dito. Our Vice Governor, Kasureco 2 man. May isa lang pong tanong. Una po ang konting istorya. Nagtaas din po ng rate ang Kasureco 1. Tama po ba na nagtaas ng rate sa Kasureco 1, nagtaas din ng rate sa Kasureco 2. Tama po ba yung istorya na mas mataas yung itinaas nyo sa Kasureco 2 kesa sa Kasureco 1? Una, dahil daw mas mura yung kuryente na bili ng management ng Kasureco 1, maigi yung napili nila na power producer. Pwede, sir, paano nangyari yun? Hindi nyo ba nakita kung gaano kaigi yung supplier namin? Na yung San Miguel. Ano pong pwede niyong masabi tungkol dyan? Nagtatanong lang po No offense meant, sir.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you for the question. The reality, Your Honor, is the rates of Kasureco 2 is the lowest in the Camarines Sur area before this problem came in. The generation charge of Kasureco 2 for September is only 457, and the generation charge of Kasureco 1 is more than 5 pesos, Your Honor. For the generation charge is 541. And the distribution charge, ito yung sinasabi ko na itong napupunta lang sa co-op. Ang Kasureco 1 po, ang kanilang distribution charge is 247. Itong napupunta sa Kasureco ang ginagamit nila sa kanilang operating expenses. Ang sa Kasureco 2 po ay only 1 peso and 65 centavos on the average. So, prior to the problem, the rates of Kasureco 2 is lower than all the Kasurecos in Camarines Sur. The problem arises because of the fact that one of our bilateral went on maintenance simultaneously with the shutdown of Malampaya. And dahil kanya-kanya namang kaming bilateral contracts, because, Your Honor, ang mga distribution utilities are required to enter into bilateral contracts up to more or less 90% of the requirement. And Kasureco 2 has complied with this. That's why we have Masinloc and Bacman. At yung mga rates naman itong mga ito at yung mga provision ng contract are more or less similar. Nagkakaiba-iba lang ng konti yan. So, yun po ang rason. Unfortunate because nagkasabay ang maintenance ng aming bilateral at yung problema sa WISM because of the shutdown of Malampaya.
Si Mr. Chairman, yun po ang sagot ni manager. Sige, respeto ko yun. Pero, siguro, pwede nyo rin kausapin yung manager namin sa Kasurekoan. Tulungan kayo, doon na lang kayo kumuha sa Miguel, mas mura.
Okay. So,
Mr. Chairman, finally, Mr. Chairman.
Nagsumulat po kami sa SMEC.
Ah?
We have it on records na kami ay nag-solicit sa SMEC.
Sige
But
na.
sinabi nila na when we were soliciting proposal na wala silang available power na ibibenta sa amin dahil nakuha na ng Meralco yung kanilang...
Sige. Now, Mr. Chairman, finally, Mr. Chairman, ako po kaya, I really shudder at the thought that the day will come that the whole coverage area of Kasureco to mawawaran ng kuryente. Yaon dyan ang Naga, ang provincial capital. Alam niyo sir ang repercussion nun? Lahat ng effort ng garat ng gobyerno, local, provincial, city, na mapaasenso yung bawat lugar namin will go to naught. Masasayang lahat. Babagsak ang ekonomiya ng Camarines Sur. Mas malaki po ang Kasureco 2. At mas malaki ang impluensya ng mga lugar dito kaysa dun sa Rinconada. Ang epekto nito po ay sa buong probinsya. Ano sir? Kaya dapat po gagawan nyo ng paraan na hindi ito mangyari. Kasi pag nangyari yan sir, hindi lang kayo. Ewan ko lang. Kung minsan kasi sir, naawa nga ako sa inyo eh. Di ba sir, a resolution was passed declaring a persona non grata? Before?
Yes.
Meron na? Oh. Sir, if that will happen, yung pagputol ng kuryente sa Kasureco 2, God forbids, Mr. Chairman. Walang personalan po, sisisihin kayo ng buong Camarines Sur. At hindi tayo pwede po mag-finger pointing na dito. Because you are managing the affair of the Kasureco 1, Kasureco 2. Galing kayo sa NEA. Sir, sinasabi ko lang sa ang pwede mangyari. Nakakaya, nakakapanlumo at talaga nakakapanghina kung mawawaran ng kuryente ang Kasureco 2. Sir, do something about it.
okay, thank you. Before that, those who will be asking questions, because we have repetitive answers naman, and those have been clarified already. But let us try, once and for all, let us, in fairness to the GM Adlaw. I've been a general manager of an electric cooperative. In fact, I was awarded for 5 years as outstanding general manager for information of everybody. But we should really understand the situation in the industry. Dahil ka man po pwede makabakal sa nangunya, kung nuwari ka mabakal ka ngunya, dahil ka man makikibukan. In fact, kung may kontrata ng electric cooperative, inisa ng mabakalon mo, if you go higher than that, you will be penalized. Because the generation cost is actually adding. So, i-increasing. So, pag nagbaba ka man, penalized ka man. So, arrogant ng sistema na naiintindihan ang situation. Pero, Kasureco 2 must admit na may shortcomings, may shortfall ang management. Ano? Pero, dahil ito po pwedeng itong, in fairness to Mr. Adlaw, dahil ito siguro pwedeng ito sa iyagabos ang basol. Because, si problema dyan na compound na for the last 10 years, nangunya sa napig-resolve, we cannot address that problem in just 6 months or 1 year. So it will take time because the compound with the problems in isa laws, in yung mga interventions in courts, I think it will be very difficult. So this time siguro, what should be done should be, there should be a group, a composite group, from Kasureco, from government, and from the judiciary, pag-urulayan po kung ano ang reality. Ano ang reality? The more we do this, the more na pagpapenalize taan sa tuyang katauhan. Mas marami, I would prefer paying higher rates rather than having brownouts. So, pero dahil man kita amenable na, diretso na sana yan. Ako, ang assessment ko talaga, ako unsa dahil kang kasuray ko to management, may pagkukulang sila. Pero, bako na ni siguro ang panahon na magbarasulan kita, tama na itong sabi ni Board Member Nopra, let us join hands, magtarabangan kita. Let us find ways kung paano ito ma-resolve ang issues na ini. So, let us, yes, the Honorable Figuracion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning po. May sarong hapot lang po ako. Ang cost baga kang binabayadan kang consumer, halis may generation cost, may patong ang transmission cost, distribution cost. Then, kamo pong sa Kasureco, sa electric cooperative, may option ka mo kung saan ka mabakal. Kung saan ka mabakal. Ngayon, ang apot ko po bilang consumer, ano may option man kami na pwede kaming magbakal, bakuna sa Indo, direkto kami sa grid, and anong mga requirements. Ako po kaya I'm from 5th District of Camarines Sur, under Kasureco 2, but my main office and warehouse in Impili. But we are buying directly from the grid. Mas barato ang maray. Ngunapot ko po, anong requirements kung gusto ming magbakal direct from the grid?
Yun na po yun, sir, yung inaapod na open access. Pag ang konsumo mo nagpapatol na ng 1 megawatt and pataas, pwede ka na maghanap ng direkta na supplier ng kuryente. Tapos, ipa-file mo po yan sa ERC kung gusto mong direct connection. O pwede ka man mag-agi sa open access na po.
Ang 1 megawatt po, ano pong peso value kan 1 megawatt?
Ano po yan, sir? Si konsumo po yan. Bako yan yung ano.
Ayaw araw kaya kan e-mall, yato ni Enrile. They're paying 3.4 million a month.
Ang qualified pong 1 megawatt sa pagkaaram ko igdi sa Kamsur is SM and LCC, Partido and NFA.
So I'm based in Partido. So sir, anong requirement, sir, na pwede kaming magbakal direct sa grid? Iyon lang to 1 megawatt.
Yes, sir. Ang average mo for last 6 months, nagpapatong na ng 1 megawatt consumption.
Matugot po kamo, sir, kung...
nasa lay po yan, sir.
Nasa lay. Pero magtugot daw po ang Kasureco to?
Ano po kaya? Kaya po kami magsunod sa lay. Kaya...
so pwede po pala. Pwede kami. Okay, thank you po.
Yes, the Honorable Sumando is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm addressing this question to Mr. Adlaw. You are complaining against the freeze order of Judge Clavicilla. Now, what has the Kasureco done about this order?
As I said, this problem with the court started 2010, and the case is now on appeal to the Court of Appeals. At ang sabi ng aming mga lawyer, this was already submitted for decision as early as October last year. Nung nakaraang hearing po ay na-submit na nga namin sa korte yung hinihinging certification from Chairman Docot na if I may read, Your Honor, the certification, this to certify that the generation, transmission, and systems loss rates being implemented by the Camarines Sur Electric Cooperative, Kasureco 2, are in accordance with the Energy Regulatory Commission, ERC Resolution number 16, series of 2009, a copy of which is here to attach. Resolution number 16 already constitutes as the authorization to all distribution utilities, including Kasureco 2, to adjust certain components of the retail rates, such as the generation and systems loss charges on a monthly basis, given the pastoral nature of these charges. Said resolution does not require distribution utilities to file any application or petition for adjustment of their pass-through charges prior to the implementation of such monthly adjustment. These adjustments, however, are subject to a verification and confirmation process to determine over or under recoveries pursuant to Article 4 of the aforesaid resolution. It is this post-verification and confirmation process that is subject to the formal application filings by the distribution utilities and public hearing. This is to certify further that the distribution, supply, and metering charges of Casarico 2 are in accordance with the rules for setting electric cooperatives' wheeling charges, R6WR. The formulation of Casarico 2's DSM charges underwent the process of public hearings and appropriate review by this commission. This certification is being issued for whatever legal purposes this may serve. Signed, Pasig City, April 4, 2013, Sinaida G. Cross-Docot, Chairperson and CEO of the Energy Regulatory Commission.
Yes, what happened to that certification?
This was submitted to the Honorable Judge, and we are filing again a motion for the possible lifting of or resolution of the injunction, considering that in the transcript, this was the only requirement being asked by the Honorable Judge. And we are also filing within the week motion with the Court of Appeals for the early resolution of the case with the presenting the court the renewed injunction and its effect.
Yes, I suggest that any petition for the dissolution of the court injunction should be filed before the Court of Appeals, because
yes,
the case
yes,
is
Your
pending
Honor,
before
we
that
are
court.
filing both with the branch 33 of Pili and the Court of Appeal.
Why do you file the motion before the branch 33 when the case is on appeal? It is the Court of Appeals that has jurisdiction over the case.
But the Honorable Judge is still calling for hearing. In fact, we had a hearing last January 9.
So you question the court, the RTC, regarding the scheduled hearing before that court, because the case is on appeal, and it is the Court of Appeals that has jurisdiction over the matter. So I suggest that you should file your petition to dissolve the injunction before the Court of Appeals, explaining before that court the prevailing circumstances in Casarico 2. Mr. Chairman.
We are doing that, Your Honor.
Yes. Do not delay, because as we learned from you, there is an impending blackout in Casarico 2 by January 25 and onwards. That will be all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Anyway, the Honorable Senior, hope it will be a last question because we still have another guest.
Yes. Very short, Mr. Chairman. And Mr. Adlaw, Attorney Simando, kung kay po itong legal service niya, is also available, Mr. Chairman. Anyway,
Attorney Simando is a lawyer.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask the guest, ito may pending bagang ini, sa lingkup temporary. Are you aware that there is now a ongoing construction sa area mi, sa may Tangkong Baka, the windmills? Are you aware of that? The joint project of this under the public-private partnership under the term of Gov. L. Ray Villafuerte. Ongoing naman niya. Are you aware of that? With an American company? Are you aware of that? Hindi po.
No, Your Honor.
Ongoing po mo yan. Sige-sige na. By next year, pag natapos, we can produce 40 to 60 megawatts. Kung problema nito yan, next year, bakal ka mo ng kuryente sa probinsya. With are you willing to buy electricity?
If if that could be, if the price will be competitive, and Your Honor. But Your Honor, please, itong mga ganitong source of power are not actually baseload power. Hindi ho yan yung mga planta na magagarantihan ang 24 hours continuous operation. Kaya tinatawag ito na hindi baseload.
Pero po ang po kasi Casoreco 2, ang kaipuhan nitong electricity, perang megawatts po ang use.
Almost 50 megawatt ang demand ngayon.
40 to 60. Pero anyway, next year, pag-ulayan ta when it's done, pagtapos na po yan.
We are actually soliciting about 5 to 10% of our demand, Your Honor, to address the load growth of
I would like, Mr. Chairman, to inform Casoreco 2, that's a 5 billion investment from an American company. So ongoing now, counterpart kakuha niya kang provincial government. And siguro, baka by next year.
Anyway, may nasa batas naman ho yan na yan ay priority na bilhin kung available na. Mga renewable energy yan, Your Honor.
Just one lang namin, matagal na kasi ginagawa na, gusto lang namin inform kayo. Baka naman kasi makuha ng publiko na baka magwa-brown out, parang dahil dito, parang wala tayong solusyon. Meron pa. Dahil iyan sa idea ni Gov. El Rey Villaforte, maglagay ng windmills na yan. Napoproject kasi, parang talagang puputulan kayo eh. Kaya naglagay na kami yan, ang provincial government. And we will construct more pa para makatulong sa energy sector. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Honorable Senior. Actually, he's the Vice Chairman of the Joint Venture Committee. That's why he's aware, because the committee has already approved the construction. Anyway, just to summarize, sum it up, let us not put all the blames on the general manager. He's only human. Now, let's try to understand the situation. The problem of Casoreco has been there for century already. For decades. Siguro naman ma-resolve niya ni Mr. Adlaw in too short a time. So, let's give him the chance. Number 2, siguro tarabangan tayo na po iningo niya, the more na may intervention ng other forces, the more na magkakaigwa kitang difficulty and problem, kita ka po masuffer. Pero we do agree. I do agree with Board Member Naval na dahil kami tugot na magkaparang kao na sana because of the negligence of the management. No, so, nakikiulay po kami. I know you're doing your job. Pero sana po, dublihon ta. Let's double time para makita namin yung concern nyo sa Camarines Sur. Kami, we're willing to support all the way, provided we see that you're in the right direction. And we see naman na although may mga flaws, pero nakikita naman namin na you're slowly correcting it. But let us be more aggressive this time. So, sana you will be able to come up with a court decision. Anyway, sige. Board Member Noble, last, we have the guest, it's already 12.
Sir, I'm very much aware, sir. May I know from NAIA, you are now considered as the NAIA representative from the Casoreco 2. So, may I know now if the Board of Directors is also existent?
The problem with the Board of Directors has continuously been one of the problem of the co-op. But there is a recent event, Your Honor. Those board which are on holdover capacity may no longer be allowed to...
That based on your assessment, sir, during the time na nag-assume ka, from ilang buwan ka na ba sa pag-assume being the supervisor?
Magwa 1.5 years na ako, Your Honor. If I am not mistaken, during my first week at Casoreco 2, I was also invited to this honorable body and
your problem raised, Mr. Chairman, based on the power yung babayaran natin sa mga power supplier. Pero yung pinaka-problema natin, sir, based your own assessment, ano pa ang problema ng Casoreco 2 Dahil alam ko may utang patay sa NAIA. And then, ano ba ang full operation, ano ba pag-assume mo? Talagang, may, ano ang problema o ano? Para ma-assist natin on the part.
I would like to make it on record, Your Honor, that since I was designated project supervisor of Casorico 2 and starting August 16th as its acting general manager, the operation of the co-op in both in terms of financial, technical, and institutional has improved. And in fact, we are now availing of the payment discounts from our suppliers. The systems loss of the co-op is now near the cap of 13%. At we are current in all our obligation before this crisis came in, Your Honor.
The last question, Mr. Chairman. Last question. Based on your report and collection efficiency, almost 72%. Am I right?
As I explained, that the 1% is only for the current, and for the overall, it's more than 96%.
Then pinagsama natin kaya nakaano ka ng 96%. So ang problema natin, mayroon nakapalaman doon na problema talaga yung payables, yung mga kautangan natin talagang marami. Kaya I prepared this, Mr. Chairman, during my invitation on the second regular on February, first week of February. Meron din akong invitation pertaining to that power rate increase, and then being the chairman of the Committee on Energy, Mr. Chairman, I prepared to conduct committee hearing so that they can also enlighten all the problem raised in Casoreco 1 up to Casoreco. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Yes, Honorable Naval.
Mr. Chairman, I suppose that Casoreco officers are here for us para makahagad ng support. Ano po? Maybe we can extend our support, even we can join you. Kung may plano po kayo magsulat kay Secretary Pitilla or sa higher ups, we can join you. Only to ask for say for example, palugit, kung ano pa, we can join you at any time.
I have already written WISM, PMC, requesting to allow us a 3 months period to settle our
we can join,
December bill.
We can join you with that, sir. Kung maghihingi kayo na mapababa, we will join you. Pero sir, yung freeze order, we cannot join you. Yan lang po siguro. Maybe you can work it out. May mga abogado naman kayo, trabahuhin nyo po na maalis yung TRO, yung freeze order. But with regards to the requesting for a palugit or lower rates, we can join you at any time. I suppose the members will join with your plight because we are also for the benefit of the province. Ano po?
And I'm sure that will help, Your Honor, and we'll appreciate it.
And very kindly, Secretary Pitilla will be coming tomorrow. I received an invitation from the office of the governor, now inviting me to join in the courtesy call of Secretary Pitilla at 3 o'clock tomorrow. Maybe we can discuss that tomorrow. So anyway, aside by the Honorable Naval, we are willing to support you through that way, but not in the freeze order. So, at this point, since we have another guest, at this point, the chair would like to thank GM Adlaw and company for honoring our invitation.
Mr. Chairman, I move for a 1 minute recess.
Yes, 1 minute recess. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, so the only thing that
si Presidente, paano ko magdigdi si Pinoy kung paano masisigarilyo hamba na yan. Ano? Meaning, so actually there is no such thing as 100% totally free kasi we will be providing places for smoking pa rin. Ano po?
Ang 100% smoke free lang po will be indoor And
Okay.
then the designated smoking place, we will have a designated
So we
smoking
have to
place,
have
but
a
outside.
designated place.
Yes,
Apo.
but outside po.
So we will identify places for ano.
Yes.
Kasi ako, ma'am, advocate ako kaya may mga itong mga previous kong mga calendar kasi environmentalist ako.
Yes.
Sabi ko, trees present the environment. Igwa kung dati kayo ni, ang nakalag ko duman, trees digest smoke. Di ba? Don't let smoke digest you.
Yes, apa.
Meaning, iman lang po yan, hapot ko lang. So, 100% smoke-free province na po. We still provide for smoke areas, smoking areas for some board members, for some
Yes.
mayors, some
Apo.
politicians up to the higher.
Apa. So basically,
anyway,
basically po 100% smoke-free
Indoor,
indoor,
basta indoor.
and then you have a designated place
when we speak
outside.
of indoor, not necessarily air condition.
Not necessarily air condition lang po.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions? No more? If there is none, I think we already have an ordinance on smoking. Maybe we can just amend it, you know. Bukal Rex, the board member Rex Oliva, I think has sponsored that before. Maybe we can just make some si Chari. So maybe we can just amend it and reconcile it with the proposed ordinance of the BM Figuration. So any other question? Yes, Honorable Hernandez.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. May tatanong lang po ko sa inyo.
Apo.
Nakakuha kasi akong picture. Ito yung resulta na nagsisigarilyo.
Apa.
Siguro, puro pangit at epekto pala ng nagsisigarilyo. Pero dito, meron isang magandang epekto.
Lumaki.
Tingnan niyo ang picture. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Lumaki. Galing yan sa kanila.
Yung isa pong yon ay actually can also cause impotence.
Yes, okay. Any other questions? If there is none at this point, the chair would like to thank our guests for sharing us the information about smoking. The guest and company, thank you very much, Doctora.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Mr. Chairman, I move for a 1-minute recess.
1 minute recess.
Mr. Chairman, I move that item F3B and C be referred to appropriate committees up to letter E, Mr. Chairman.
Up to letter C. Okay.
Up to letter E. E.
Letter E. Okay.
And also, Mr. Chairman, for the review of municipal and city resolutions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. We have 11 items, Mr. Chairman. I move that this be referred to appropriate committees as marked.
Okay. The items for review are hereby referred to the concerned committee as marked.
Calendar of business, committee report.
We still have a first reading.
First reading.
It's under, yes, Your Honor.
Under first reading.
Yeah, we
First
have
reading,
inclusion.
F2B.
Yes, first reading,
Smoking ordinance.
we refer the matter to the Committee on Health and Laws and Review, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, so first reading is referred to the committee.
Calendar of business, committee report, committee on loss and review.
The Honorable Simando is recognized.
Yes. Mr. Chairman, I have 2 committee reports consisting of 3 items per report. All members of this august body have been furnished with copies of the report. May I move that the same be approved?
Any second? Duly seconded. The committee report of the Honorable Simando is hereby approved and approved. Thank you.
The transferred items from reference of business. Honorable Simando, please. Okay.
Yes, the Honorable. The Honorable no price recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The approval of this resolution, Mr. Chairman, will pave the way for the implementation of the water system project in Milaor, another project of Governor Miguel El Rey Jr. Villafuerte. Mr. Chairman, one of the preliminary steps in the installation of water supply system is the acquisition of the land for the purpose. So accordingly, Mr. Chairman, the provincial government would need at least 160 square meters of land for the installation of the water supply system. Section 465 of the Local Government Code states that the provincial governor, being the local chief executive, shall represent the province in all transactions and sign for in behalf all contracts and obligations and such other documents upon authority of the Sangguniang Panlalawigan of Camarines Sur. Hence, this resolution. Mr. Chairman, motion for the approval of this resolution.
Any second? Unanimously seconded. Any objection? Unanimous na nga ni pala. The same resolution is approved.
Other matters?
Mr. Chairman, other matters. We set our fourth regular session on January 31. January 31.
Instead of 28.
Instead of 28.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
So I so move, Mr. Chairman, that we set our fourth regular session on January 21.
Any second of objection?
The same time.
Comment? Yes, the Honorable. So our last session for the month will be, instead of 28, will be on the 31st. Same time.
So our third will be on the
21st. Okay. So, be it noted, the Secretary is advised to take note of that. Yes, the Honorable Senator.
I would like to inform the body, Mr. Chairman, na simultaneous with the session, nag-conduct na si Committee on Infrastructure hearing with the DPWH and then the district engineers. And they have agreed, Mr. Chairman, I would like to report to the body, ma-actual inspection si Nakalagay District Hospital on Monday. Then after that, they will make a report to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan and to the Governor. That, I just want to inform the body.
So the committee hearing has been concluded. Simultaneous with the session. Okay, any other matters you would like to discuss?
So if there will be no more
next item
matters to be discussed, Mr. Chairman,
administrative case for appropriate action.
I move, Mr. Chairman, that this the motion be referred to the Special Committee on Administrative Cases.
So the motion is hereby referred to the Special Committee on Administrative Cases, chaired by the Honorable. I think this has been referred to the Honorable. The chair is Honorable Naval.
Adjournment.
I move to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Any second, duly seconded. Session is adjourned. Thank you very much. God bless you all.